What's going on, Need to Know podcast? We are back with another episode. I'm always elated to have a conversation with people, especially when they are returning, their friends and family, and they believed in the show from the very, very beginning. It's what you need to know, when you need to know. And this week we have a who you need to know. Oh, you already know him. Honestly, this guy, he's been doing his thing. He's been on this podcast, a plethora of other podcasts, super intelligent, author. Honestly, I heard you rap as well. I might have to challenge you on that.
Not word.
You feel what I'm saying?
I rap, and I learned the hard way. When you say you rap, you better rap.
Yeah. Especially in New York City. But before we get to our guest, I'm your guy, Savon.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, A.
And we always have Reggie. Reggie, I was waiting on you, but you just...
we got an intro.
For the past 2 years, he has introduced me, and now today I was just supposed to introduce
be a man.
I was confused. Sorry, guys.
You know what? Y'all kind of exposed me before the cameras came on. I was blushing a little bit.
Yes,
I'm
he
getting a little
was.
hot because we about to talk about our feels.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
We're really about to get into it.
Really about to
Yes.
get into our feels, and I don't know how
I'm
I feel
excited.
about that.
Word, that's
But
a
yeah,
fact.
Alex.
Yeah, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on YouTube as well. We are on Patreon. That is the Need to Know podcast. No, reverse. That's patreon.com/Need to Know podcast. Go holler at us over there. A lot of cool content. But yes, very excited about who we have in here with us today. This guy is like the voice of the peace.
I like that.
Right.
I
Like
that.
I've been following him since, we've interviewed him last maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And, every time I hear from this young guy, it's always some shit that makes me feel like I'm a terrible person. And
I'm glad somebody
We're
can
going
do
to
it.
unpack that
I'm
comment.
glad somebody can make you feel terrible. Because
Nah,
Alex
'cause-
is just so confident in life,
Yeah.
nobody can do that to
it
him.
take people like this.
Yeah,
That's just like so good. We're not trying. But yeah, today we have Humble the Poet here with us today. Round of applause. You know what I'm saying?
Clap it up, let's clap it up, let's clap it up.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're in a new space since the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
But we still got a lot of questions that we need your help solving. Luckily, thank God you're here, right? Luckily, you have a new book here.
Yeah.
It's called How to Be Loved with parentheses on the D at the end.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to ask about that. What did you mean by that? How to be loved and loved?
Yeah. So a friend of mine who's like a dating coach, he makes videos, and he's like, if I want to make a video about how to love yourself, he goes, I'm gonna call it Why He Won't Text Back. Because if the title of the video is How to Love Yourself, no one's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But if the title is Why He Won't Text Back, everyone's watching it. And he's like, then I'll bring them in and get them where I need to get
Okay,
them.
marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I thought about that, and I was like, people, the goal here is to be loved, but everybody just want to be loved. So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna, bluntly call the book How to Be Loved, and then kind of give it a hint that the D's in parentheses. And the cover was made by Ruben Rojas, who's like a very popular artist in Los Angeles.
Right.
And if you go now, for anybody who goes to New York, goes to Santa Monica, goes to Venice, you'll see love all over the walls, and it's his work. This is his signature stuff. And he does graffiti, but he's also like the W Hotel out there has all his sculptures. And
Wow.
He also has a couple sculptures with the NFL outside their stadiums, and he has love on some of their jerseys now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a
I've
really
seen
dope
that.
thing. Yeah.
Pierre, you seen that, right?
Yeah, no, we've seen it because I shoot for the league.
Yeah. You've definitely probably seen it then.
Yeah, I've seen it. They look really cool. Really
Yeah, so he's just doing beautiful things, and I was
Yeah.
connected with him just because I'm trying to find artist friends out there in LA, and then we connected and had the idea of doing. He's known as the love guy, so it's like, yo, I'm making a book about love. You got to do the cover. So,
Today
yeah.
you are our love guy. Okay. Now listen, you started off I think it was probably the first chapter, right? I think there was a chapter in there called "The Path to Love." What was it? With love is a path, not a destination.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. Love is a path, not a destination. Did I say that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Please break that down. Before you do, I want to tell you what I took from it. I like this because I felt like a lot of people, right, when they start to maybe find someone they want to date, take seriously, haven't involved in their lives for a long time, all of the emotions might run up front, right? Like, oh my God, I love the way this person looks. I love the way this person treats me. But I don't feel as if they take the journey with that person as a path, right? So maybe I'm wrong, but what did you mean by that? Yeah.
So I mean, just overall, the way we look at life, I think the culture that we have out here is like everything is a straight line. It's a beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about life in general, like the prevalent belief here is like you live your life, you die, and then you go to heaven or hell or something, and that's what life is. I come from the East where everything is a cycle. And nature is a cycle. The seasons continually change. Life doesn't exist in a straight line. It exists in cycles and patterns. And when it comes to a lot of things, we always look at like, oh, I just need to get that job, and then I'm good. I'll have my happily ever after. 'Cause we see that in the movies. Yeah. I need to find my partner, and once I find my partner, check. And I can, but it's like, no, like you finding a job is the beginning of a journey. You finding a partner is the beginning of a journey. You getting married is the beginning of a journey. Anything you do is the beginning of a journey. So focus on that journey. So people are really hung up on like the pot of gold, when really the pot of gold is the rainbow. So enjoy the rainbow instead of promising yourself that I'm going to feel better or things are going to be great once I achieve something just over this thing.
But see, Humble, isn't that manifestation that we see on the Instagram so much? Aren't we supposed to do that? Isn't what they tell us to do?
Yeah, but you're just manifesting. The problem with that is you are, and you're going to make it happen. I believe people can manifest, but what they're not successfully doing is thinking about the emotions with that. So like dudes is like, I want a Ferrari. I'm going to manifest this Ferrari. Really, you're manifesting the feeling that's supposed to come with the Ferrari, but you ain't never had a Ferrari before, so you don't know what it's going to feel like. Right. And then you're left disappointed.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. I find it very interesting how the timing of you living in LA and writing this book about love, right?
Yeah.
I think it's been noted on this podcast. I'm really not a fan of LA. Like, Los Angeles is cool. I'll go out. It's some business.
We'll never give up a chance to, talk a little shit.
Yeah.
If you listen to us closely, we've been doing this, so we could just say it.
And we appreciate everybody who listens to us in Los Angeles, because
Shout out to you guys.
a lot of people definitely show love and support.
We're just kidding.
I went to the Gathering Spot, one of the locations in Los Angeles, and one of the guys, he recognized me. They're like, yo, Savon, what's going on? Like, he almost double take because he's like, wait, you're a New Yorker. Why the fuck are you here, right? So
we visit.
We do have a lot of love and respect for Los Angeles, but I'm also self-aware in knowing that it's not for me, right? You got to know what's for you and what's not. Los Angeles is just not a place for me to live and to like create a life and all those kind of things. But I find it really interesting how you wrote a book about love and the different nuances of love while being in LA, almost trapped in LA because the timing of it happened during the beginning of the pandemic. So from the last time we spoke to you, right, you were in Toronto.
Yeah.
I had no idea you were moving to the States, but apparently you came to LA. You had a life adventures in Los Angeles. Talk to me about that and what that correlation is with the book in love in general.
I think the big one is, there's an idea in there that says, chase what you love, don't love what chases you.
Yo, I'll be telling the girls all that.
Yeah.
That's my bar. That's
No,
my
I'm
bar.
big on that because
Nah, that's my bar.
I feel like the chase.
You stole that from me. Nah.
Wait, can you repeat the second part of
Yeah,
it?
that was
Don't
fun.
love
That was
what
fun.
chases you.
Chase what you love, don't love what chases you.
I feel like I'm really big on that because I feel like being obsessed with the chasing someone and being obsessed with somebody chasing you, you just love that action. So that is something in itself. Like, why do you love that chase so much? Like, do you need that feeling of like being wanted? Like, I feel like there's always something to break down in that. So that was very profound. Yeah.
Yeah, so from that standpoint, it was like LA, it presented me opportunities that wouldn't have been on my vision board if I had a vision board.
Got you.
And I was like, oh shit, like this is cool. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this. Versus me being on an authentic mission or purpose and pursuing that, which would have brought me here or kept me in Toronto. And then every step of the way in LA is just beat the crap out of me to remind me like it's not enough fuel for you to stay here because there's no love here. There's no enthusiasm to be here. You're here for a result. You're here for a destination.
Right.
I'm here to do, and then if I'm not getting that immediately, then I'm just like, why am I here? Why am I here? Versus if I came somewhere else and it's about the journey, I'm like, I'm here to realize my purpose of community.
Yeah.
Community, building community isn't I got community.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Like it's not something you try to attain or reach for. It's almost like it's still something that to be not chased but always like sought after.
Yeah, you keep moving it. And I think it goes back to love in the context like we view popular ideas as like love is glue. Love keeps things together. I say love is fuel. It's not glue. Love doesn't keep anyone together. Love is the fuel that's gonna make you work at making things stick together and keeping things together. So I realized that, which is like, if you and again, LA really encourages you. LA, what I learned is it's Washington D.C. for good-looking people.
Explain.
You know?
Yeah, break that down a little bit. Open that up.
Everybody is a politician. Everybody is getting financially rewarded for making people like them.
Wow.
You know, that's what they're doing over there. They're just trying to make you like them. Politicians need you to like them to keep them in power.
The constituents,
right?
yep.
Yeah. And in LA, because it was when I was in LA, someone said that they go, Washington is Hollywood for ugly people. And I was like, no.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
I'm like, LA is Washington for good-looking people, or at least symmetrical faces. I won't even say good-looking people.
the sex drive in DC is a little bit lower compared to Los Angeles.
Yeah, but there's this idea because it's like, you know, coming out here, you know, I think the first time I came out was years and years and years ago, and I had a friend out here from med school. I'm like, yo, I love the hustle. And he's like, yo, people here are just trying to survive. He goes, they're not hustling for the sake of hustling, they're hustling to survive.
Oh, wow.
And then over there, it was like, there's a hustle to survive, but it's not survival of like, I need to put food in my belly. There's that too. There are people in LA doing that.
Yeah.
But there's also survival of like my relevance, my value.
Yes.
I had a win last year.
Yes.
What's my win this year?
Yes.
The social currency in LA is a lot more valuable than most places in the world. I won't even just say like an East Coast, West Coast thing, but I think, you know, it's with New York, it humbles you a little bit, right? LA, you try to avoid being humble at all costs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you're completely, that's a great way to put it.
At all costs, you don't want to feel it.
Appearances
You don't want
matter,
anybody else to
everything,
know you're going through it. So you'll do whatever it takes to kind of mask that feeling. Opposed to New York, where you kind of embrace it.
And the other thing too is because nobody in LA is from LA,
That's another thing.
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to bring up. This conversation has nuance to it because we're very well aware that there are LA natives who are just the realest, most genuine, most raw people ever.
Absolutely.
We're talking more so the people who move
transplants.
there to.
we're
that's
not
what
even.
we're talking
You know what? We're not even talking about Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We're talking about the entertainment industry.
Okay, yes.
in
That's
the northern
yes.
part of Los Angeles, known as Hollywood.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about your average person in Inglewood.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not
Yes,
talking
Santa
about.
Monica.
Yeah, we're not talking about somebody in Encino,
Yeah.
or Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
You know, them laid back California
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, for sure.
The
We're not talking
entertainment world
about
is a
them.
great way to put
We're talking
it.
about the entertainment world. Yeah.
So essentially, you found love in a hopeless place. Look at that. Like you was able to complete that in an environment that kind of could have gone against what the whole, you know, preface of the whole book was.
Well,
Yeah.
the big idea is you can't find love.
Okay, see, no, what? Say it louder, humble, because
You
I be
can't
trying to tell
find
him that.
love.
Okay, keep going.
Love can only.
Oh, no,
Oh, I was
continue.
gonna say, you can't find love. Love can only be realized, and the love is already there, right? And what we have is we just have these messages sent to us that you have to earn love, you have to qualify for love, you have to be worthy or enough for love, and these aren't things that make any sense if you think about it. You can't be enough of a person. There's no measure. You can't measure a person as enough. You can't even measure
Say the
yourself as
things.
being worthy. So
Say
we have to
it.
stop telling people, "Oh, you're worthy of love." The love that we are actually craving for would love everything, like there is no such thing as unlovable.
It's already within us.
Yeah, and we are a source of we are a love. We are a source of love.
Yeah.
So, and we know, and the reason we know this is because if we look at our relationships with the people that we authentically love, we know all their flaws.
Yes,
None of that disqualifies them. from
No.
love.
absolutely.
No.
Then we also know we have all held a baby.
Yeah.
And just been full of love. That baby didn't do nothing. We haven't developed a relationship with that baby.
Yes.
And if you spend 3 years with that baby, all that baby's gonna do is give you shit on you.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
it doesn't it's not a transaction. Love doesn't require that.
I think our perception of love is being changed by technology, right? I got into an argument this week with one of my friends, and he was trying to tell me that, yeah, you know, if this young lady don't let me go through her phone when I'm ready to get into a relationship with her, that means she doesn't love me and she's hiding something.
Yeah.
And
That's scary.
That sounds very toxic.
but see, the thing is, though, see, you could tell he wasn't even realizing how much credit I guess he's giving to technology, the
phone,
phone. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know, the more we grow with tech, the better it gets. It's harder for people to kind of separate things. I'm gonna ask you a question about memes in a second, but do you feel like
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say with that is like the issue there is he's chasing bootleg love.
okay.
You know, like like we're in New York, he's chasing Canal Street love.
Like what people told you that
What
love
he
was.
wants.
Yeah.
Well, so the question is, why the guy looks through her phone? He wants power, control, and security.
That's what I said.
That's not love. That's power, control, and security. Right?
Yeah.
Love is none of those things.
Right.
Love is acceptance. Love is peace. Right?
Right.
Power, control, and security, those are 3 languages of fear. When you're afraid, you need power, control, security. That's Darth Vader trying to control the entire universe because he lost his woman.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So what he
Dolph.
so what he thinks is he's chasing, he's trying to create that, and then he's measuring that as love, and that's what all this is: attention, clout, power, admiration, attractiveness, people sliding in your DMs. We start to think this is love.
Right.
And
None
people,
of that is love.
People associate. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like people also associate the chase with love. Like, oh my God, he loves me. He look at how hard he's trying. Validation, exactly what you
Validation,
said.
I'm
Yeah.
worth the
but that's
effort,
not.
yeah.
It doesn't even have to be that way.
That's all fast food. That's
don't-
not love.
exactly.
There's no nutrition there.
I don't
it's just
even-
delicious.
I don't even-
temporarily.
I don't even think texting all day is love. And I try to tell a lot of my lady friends, like, yo, people can be performative, right? Like people can put up a version of what they say, you say that you want, but the whole time it's not coming from a genuine place. It's manufactured. So what do you really want? But
and that goes back to being liked. People are performative because they want to be liked.
like, look at how many texts I got. Like, look at how many
That-
likes I got.
And also, like, I you asked me to do something, and my answer should be no, but I say yes because I don't want you to not like me. And that's people. And the thing with people pleasing, and that's why like the
I was about to-
subtitle of
you
the
literally
book
have a- yeah.
is going easy on yourself. I'm not here to make people feel bad for being people pleasers because that's an evolutionary tactic that we have. We used to live in smaller communities, and you had to keep your tribe happy.
For sure.
Otherwise, they kicked you out,
Yeah.
and you die.
Yeah.
So rejection from people still feels like death, even though that's not actually the case anymore.
I feel like, a lot of the things that you're saying, I identify with, we all are on a journey of trying to evolve, self-improve. I think, especially our listenership, they're in that phase of that.
Yeah.
But I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up because a lot of what you're saying sounds like you either studied people in some form or you were heartbroken.
Yeah.
Or had a relationship
Yeah.
that taught you these things.
Yeah.
Where did the mindset and your development and relationship with love stem from?
Well, the journey of the book stemmed from the fact that I was failing at what I thought was failing at love. I was in a relationship that didn't work, and I was saying, how come I can't find love?
Yeah.
And then I quickly realized that there's endless love in and around me, and I'm just closed off to it. We all protect ourselves with these walls, right? And we don't realize the walls are not protecting us. The walls are a prison. And and again, just based off culture, how you were raised, media, understanding, I didn't realize that. So what I started to notice is, okay, the work isn't to discover the love. The work is to receive the love. So the analogy is like, love is the breeze. Your work is to open your sail. You don't need to find the breeze. The breeze is there. You got to open your sail, and that's internal work. That doesn't come from anybody else.
Yeah.
So then, because what's happening right now is a lot of the times we're getting in romantic relationships because we're lonely, but you can't outsource the antidote to loneliness.
Oh my God.
Because everybody has felt lonely in a crowded room.
I need like a pocket version of you to put in my pocket. And then
Whenever
just-
he's feeling like, he's
Yeah.
like, Alex,
Yeah, so,
but you
because
can't solve this, but you can only solve it from within.
because everything he's saying is what I be trying to say. I just don't have the wording as to where he's putting it at. But I come on this podcast and say it all the time. I think a lot of people are so lost and they blame everybody else for why they are not good. And it's like, yo, it starts with self.
Only you could do that for yourself. Like,
Let me ask you this though.
I don't think I
I
can
don't
hear
even
you.
think I can hear you. Yeah.
Your
Damn,
mic-
You
he
know
had
what's
the
the
fire
combination
question.
of the low and the lights in my eyes? So I apologize for not. I can't see your facial expressions.
Right.
No, it's fine. But
But Humble, you were saying in the book, right? And you just told Savon that, yo, you got out of a relationship and you started to question yourself.
Yeah, I tried to figure out like where I went wrong.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I relate to you on that.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes you gotta stay in the hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, being jaded.
Yeah.
Right? In the book, you say that sometimes that you gotta sit in the pain. What does that bring? Yeah.
I feel like most of our problems don't come from negative emotions. Most of our problems come from suppressing the negative emotions. Like anxiety is not your enemy. trying to shut down the anxiety, trying to medicate the anxiety, that's the issue. That's the mental health issue. Having anxiety isn't. Anxiety is an alarm. Anxiety is telling you something.
In some cases, because sometimes anxiety is paralyzing.
I'm not saying it's not paralyzing, but still, I said it's an alarm. It's a message.
Got it.
So like a doo-doo.
Got it.
It's
okay.
telling-
Understood.
It's telling you something,
yes. Understood.
right?
Yeah.
So saying, "Ooh, let me pop a Percocet to get rid of the anxiety,"
That doesn't solve.
you're
the
not
problem.
listening to the message,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So then it's going to come back.
Right.
Yes.
Right? You have to address what is happening. So sitting in your pain is that. And again, a lot of us, especially men, we're raised to think vulnerability and showing emotions is weakness.
Yeah.
So then we're taught to constantly suppress. So then if you're in a relationship with a woman and a woman expresses her pain to you, what she does is she triggers your pain. You feel your pain and you're like, oh shit, I need to shut her up. How do I shut her up? Let me solve her problem.
Yeah.
And that's always that endless kind of thing about women like, I just need you to hear me. And he's like, no, why are you telling me your problems? And I need to fix them. But the truth is, she's right. Because empathy is feeling the pain and just being there with the pain. Because pain is a message as well. Whether it's take your hand off the hot stove or listen, or this isn't a room you should be in, or this isn't a place thing you should be doing. This isn't a food you should be eating. We should be paying attention to all of this. And there's something called the emotion wheel, which is all the emotions humans feel. If you Google it and look at the image, the vast majority of emotions that humans have are negative. The only positive, remotely positive emotions humans have are happiness and maybe surprise. And that goes both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Every other emotion is negative. And the reason for that is negative emotions keep you alive. Negative emotions are associated with survival. We have all these unpleasant emotions because they keep us alive. We're paranoid because it keeps us alive.
And I don't want to disagree, but I do want to just offer a different perspective. I also think it's the way that, the infrastructure is set up, right? We were speaking about, New York, LA, just being in these major cities. I think anxiety, I think feeling like you are trapped comes from capitalism.
Yeah.
To just say,
there's
like,
no
I think-
argument in any
I think
capacity. I agree with you completely.
Capitalism feeds some of the things that we're speaking about because it doesn't allow you to feel good. It doesn't allow you to.
It's setting off your alarm.
Yeah.
And you got to be aware of
sure.
what's happening. I feel the pressure.
I got to pay this bill. I got to
Yeah.
be here on time. I got to make sure my car
But
is
it's
good.
telling,
Insurance,
and
all
it's
of this
something that
shit.
you got to now. You got to sit there and listen to that.
Yes.
And be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, how do I address this? I got two directions: make more money or spend less money.
Yes.
I can't spend less money. I'm in New York City. Then fuck, move to Kansas or something.
Nah, never that.
But I mean,
mean,
that's
yeah.
the
But
thing.
that's-
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's
But you're right.
Yeah.
There's always a good solution, but we as people, we go with Savon, just go, nah, I can't do that. And then you kind of
Kansas.
get
then don't
stuck
be
into
surprised
a
that there's
cycle.
more anxiety
Yeah.
coming.
Why you ain't moved to Kansas? You went to LA. You went from Toronto to
I'm okay with the anxiety. As I said, anxiety. I'm okay with the anxiety. I think, as I said, I view anxiety as a gift.
Yeah.
And as well as like, and being in
feel that
LA,
as well.
it toned it down because it's not an eventful place.
Yes.
But I think it's just important, as I said, like if we avoid negative emotions, we're avoiding important information. So sitting with pain
Love that.
is allowing us to pay attention to that. And again, sit with pain with a journal
Yeah.
and write it out.
I feel like journaling has really transformed the way that I go through pain and anger and things like that, because exactly what you were saying, like these negative emotions, like the only way out is through. Like you can't just like suppress it, because that's when the anxiety spikes and you feel like this is something that you shouldn't be feeling, when no, like you can only go through this if you really sit with it, feel with it. And something like journaling is like a very healthy outlet to like really go through these things. So that's what
And also the labeling. I am happy. I am sad. No, I am experiencing happiness. I am experiencing sadness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You're not the world around you.
Yeah.
What are some tips to maybe people that, have an issue dealing with confrontation? I feel like a lot of times people don't realize that they have love or, have been loved is because they rather not address what it is that's making them feel like, okay, this isn't love, And I'm a type of person, I love confrontation. I live for it. I don't want to have anything fester inside of me about how I feel another person, so that doesn't create another emotion that I'm already having. So yeah, what are some tips for people like that?
I think it's important just to realize, like, one of the darkest places people can be is resentment. And the antidote to resentment is your boundaries, showing your teeth, standing up for yourself. And none of these are confrontational. All of these are treating yourself as if you were your best friend. If you have a best friend, you don't want no one to disrespect them. You set boundaries and you protect them. And it's the same way. The beauty is, like the big 5 personality trait. It's agreeability, and most men rank low in agreeableness. And the beauty of that is, well, the challenge of that is you're more confrontational.
Yeah.
The beauty of that is you don't hold grudges because you let it out. You don't, no passive aggressive.
Yeah,
shit.
we can't break up with women. Like, we just, think about it.
You let them know. You let them know when you let them know.
Yeah, it's just they break up with us, or we just sit through it, and whatever. Yeah, everybody quiet in here. I know. I'm gonna bring it back up.
Nah, you making some good valid points. It's funny because there's and I'm paraphrasing, but in your book you said no is love.
Yeah.
Correct? Saying no is
love,
a form of love.
I had to learn that
Right?
recently.
We don't like to hear no. No one likes to hear no, and no can be the simplest form as a puppy. You tell your dog no, no treats, no, don't get off the couch. They wimp and they wither and they give you the puppy eyes. Like no is just a universal form of rejection almost.
Yeah.
But you explain it as a form of love. Can you open that up?
I think at the same time too, like the puppy's a beautiful example. Like I have a puppy right now, not my first dog. So even when she was a little bundle of cuteness, I was like strict on her. And my puppy, like literally, she only gets in trouble when she puts herself in danger. Okay. But when she puts herself in danger, she gets in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because she's a simple animal. I need her to think there's lava on the road and never go on the road.
Yeah.
If she eats food that she can't eat because she's allergic to or whatever, same thing. All of that.
Yeah.
If I'm putting on a sock and she steals my sock and runs away, nothing. She's a puppy. You know what I mean? But I'm keeping her alive. And then when I meet people at the dog park and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be mean," I'm like, "He's gonna run on the road and die.
Yeah.
He's gonna bite somebody." Being to your dog is keeping them alive. You are protecting them.
Right.
Stop trying to have them like you. Protect them. They'll look up to you, especially dogs. They'll look up to you regardless. And it's the same thing. Like, children are still impulsive. People are impulsive.
Yeah.
People are going to take as much from you as they can and not even notice it, not even be bad for doing it.
Exactly.
You just have to establish your boundaries. And establishing boundaries isn't even saying no to people. It's teaching people how to be with you.
Yeah.
Just teaching people how to be around you.
In the book, you say that self-care and self-love are two different things. I need an understanding of it because I actually thought they kind of went hand in hand because it's all from self, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you mean by that?
So, again, going back to capitalism, everything's for sale. So now I'm gonna go to a spa. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Self-love is accepting yourself as you are. Self-love is embracing your imperfections. Self-love is honoring your boundaries. Self-love is keeping your promises to yourself. Self-love is physically loving yourself. Self-love is kicking yourself in the butt if you need to get up. Self-care is like, okay, cool, putting cream on your face, having a bubble bath. Elements of that could be involved in self-love, but all self-care activities, especially if like, oh, my self-care is go get a makeover today. Like that insinuates that you are not who you need to be as is.
Internal versus external. Right.
So
That's what it kinda
self-respect
sound-
over
yeah.
self-esteem.
I think it has a lot to do with there's a little bit of nuance in there might be because self-care, I feel like it depends on your definition of self-care because for me when I think about it, of course the spas and the expensive treatments is immediately what people think about when we say self-care. But in my opinion, self-care is like allowing myself to have like healthy outlets and conversations and analyze my feelings. Like that's what I think about with self-care and that's not really
And
like
for me, it's a Venn
tangible
diagram. That's all I'm
Okay.
trying to say. I'm not trying to say,
yeah.
So it's like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Like that.
Okay.
So it's like,
great way to put it. Yeah.
not all self-care is self-love.
Okay, got it.
But all self-love is self-care.
Understood.
Like that.
Okay.
From that standpoint.
One of my favorite topics in this book, right, was you said that there's a lot of myths about love.
Yeah.
That's my bag. I like that. I like telling everybody some shit. Cause it's
What kind of shit?
Just
What
the shit
kind
that
of
they
shit, though?
the shit that they need to hear. Because believe right, there's a lot of people that have subscribed to thinkings that may not be right. but maybe feel good to themselves, right?
Yeah.
For years,
Yeah.
sometimes decades of their life, right? And they hold on to these points as if it's Bible, it's word. You know, again, we're not saying you're the super expert, but you've gave some insight, some thought on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So what are just some myths about love that people should hear? Just so when they hear it, they come up with. So for me, for instance, right? Love bombing is something I've been taking more like serious.
Define that, please. Love bombing.
I've
heard of it, but
Yeah. No, I have to get
I've never been bombed with love.
Yeah,
so
yo,
I don't
nah, you've
really-
been bombed. Okay. You just ain't know you was getting love bombed.
Okay.
So basically, that's essentially when a person is just really, really sweet to you, giving you a ton of affection, a bunch of love, but it feels as if it's timely. You know, it's just not
Like
natural.
all at first and overwhelming you with like that.
Right. And I feel like, you know, okay, that was maybe a myth that I thought like, yo, maybe that's how people are supposed to treat you when they like you. So, you know, just give me some myths that they need to hit.
There's a lot. I mean, as I said, like love.
Oh,
is,
I'm sorry. Can I? Because this is the perfect thing that I wanted
Yeah.
to bring up to you somehow. Right within like the first few sentences you said, like during this podcast, you said something like life is not like a linear line; it's like a circle, and that makes me think of. I take that as like that reminded me of how I feel about the idea of soulmates and all that, but. In your chapter, relationships we build, relationship is greater than relationships we have.
Yeah.
Your opening line was, if you believe in soulmates, skip this chapter. Like you might not like this chapter. So I just wanted to know your opinion about the idea of soulmates, and
Is that a
do you
myth?
think it's a myth, or am I just misinterpreting like how you brought it up?
Right.
So how do you feel about
I
soulmates?
look at soulmate. You know, the way we were earlier talking about astrology. Like, there's basic like I'm one of the 12 astrology. Then there's like deep natal charts, right?
Yes.
The way I look at soulmates the same way. It's like, oh, this is my soulmate, or
Everyone just says
soul
yeah.
bonds, soul friendships, soul companions, all of that. I can understand that. You know, again,
Okay.
I'm from the Eastern culture. We believe, you know, there's ideas of reincarnation, there's ideas of cycles and all of that. Someone you've crossed paths with before and all of that. So I can understand that completely. I don't think somebody's needs to be with their soulmate in any capacity.
Well, not romantically, but how about like just in any point in your life, or not even
Well,
that?
I mean, I think the people in my life who I think I have a strong soul bond with, like, I care deeply for them and we gel so well, but like once a year, let's have a conversation because you still annoy the fuck out of me.
I think that's a good like myth and
Yeah.
definition, because a lot of people are just like, oh my God, my husband is my soulmate, and that's their only definition of what a soulmate is.
I'm not mad at that. I think what I learned very recently is anybody who is in a marriage and you have a delusional view of your partner,
Go for it.
go for it. Okay. 56%
I will.
divorce rate. Go for it. They're my everything.
Yeah.
Divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
Get to the grit.
If that's how they
Yeah.
want to live their,
You know, like,
right?
because it's like, again, like my parents were arranged marriage, and that's pretty much that. It's like we don't have a choice in this.
Yeah.
We are on the same page. It's you or me now. Let's go.
Yeah.
And there are no trap doors. There are no exits. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And that's, there's a lot of studies that prove, like, even when people make purchases, people are more satisfied with purchases that are no exchanges and refunds versus having the option. And we live in a
Understood,
society going
understood.
back to commercialism,
Yeah.
where these divorce lawyers want more money, so
sure.
it's becoming easier to break the institution of marriage.
Yeah.
It's becoming, the deal breakers are everything now. The deal breakers, the deal breakers are continuing, and that's not, that's great for an economy. People having third, fourth, fifth weddings and divorce lawyers. Everyone's getting paid, all that shit. Yeah. So from that standpoint, I think there's that. I'm not anti soulmate. That's actually a joke when we talk about it, but it's more about the idea that the relationships you build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You consciously say we have to have date night.
Right.
Or we have to spend time with each other. We have to do all of these things. We have to talk in detail about how we're having sex. All of these things that are considered unsexy and like, oh, we should just know. That is more valuable than relying on a spark. Because there's studies that have shown couples that have actually stayed together for more than 10 years, they studied 1,100 couples. Less than 8% of them have a story about the spark. So a lot of people are relying on the spark. They look at that as something magical.
Yeah, I need a light on my shit.
But most often, that spark is actually anxiety, warning you that you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because that person is reminding you and matching the flavor of a previous trauma you had, aka mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah.
So with all of this information that you walk around this earth with. How do you? No, seriously,
Nah, I
like,
feel it, yeah.
that's a lot.
No, that's how I'm feeling too.
Legit, like he's very self-aware. He has a great understanding of people, of himself, of what it is to love. It must be a hassle dating. It must be that anxiety must
Or
be
is it?
heightened. Well, I guess that's a
you gotta
great question.
Or
for him.
is it a hassle? Like,
Because you set these parameters and your idea of what love is, and a lot of people aren't evolved to believing love is within, love is me, I am love, how to be love, right? A lot of people don't really experience that. So do you find yourself teaching people in intimate relationships? Do you find people that, or you're only drawn to people who have that same sentiment? Like, what is that like for you? Because I can imagine it's extremely difficult as you continue to truck along this journey and find peace within yourself.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very good question. I think the way to answer it is first to let people know I'm not a love guru. I'm not a love guru in any capacity. What I am is somebody who was so desperate to figure out what they were doing wrong. I ran up to the front of the class and I took all the notes and paid attention and asked all the questions, and then I put all that in this book.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing that with the homies. That's how I view this. I'm not viewing this as I'm an expert.
Yeah.
So now, and I'm self-aware of my own bullshit. So a perfect example is one of my personal deal breakers, supposed to be, if she's not in therapy, not happening.
Yo, women love therapy,
Really?
and that, I need to take that advice because I've been told that, like, oh my God, I love that you're in therapy. Like, I wouldn't be talking to you if you wasn't in therapy. I'm like, damn, for real.
Yeah.
But
But it
I
also
understand
brings
it.
up, I think in the beginning, what it brought up for me, especially in LA, it's also an economic thing.
Absolutely. Even out here.
Right? Like,
That's a big
it's an
point.
economic
It's kind
thing.
of like privilege.
It is a privilege.
You're privileged if you
It
can
is
go
a
to therapy.
privilege. Everything, like healthy
Yeah.
food is a privilege.
Absolutely.
Everything that is good for you is expensive. So in the beginning, I felt bad. I'm like, this is not fair because different people have different circumstances.
but everybody has their standards, like for somebody that they want to
And
date.
I think
one
that's
of yours.
what I had. And I think in the
Yeah.
beginning, because I wanted to be likable and not wanting to feel like I was being superficial or anything like that. But then the truth is, I let that slide if she was hot.
I mean, hey, man,
Yeah.
brother, I ain't-
Hey, it happens.
I'm in LA.
It happens.
throw that therapy shit out the window.
I'm in the world of symmetrical phases.
Nah, I
You
feel
know what I
that.
mean?
She had a little
Absolutely.
something back there. I know. We
Everything,
been
everything.
there.
Listen,
Yeah.
everything. And then you get it bites you in the ass
Yeah.
Right.
repeatedly because you don't learn. And I will do it with a level of awareness.
Have you ran into women that have an issue with you asking why they have not been to therapy?
Yeah.
I've ran into
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a trigger for women,
It's
too.
a big trigger. I don't know what it like.
Because
me-
the fucking therapist stole their bike when they were doing something. Because that's the other thing. Like I
Yo, they
tried
get
therapist.
triggered.
My last therapist like fell asleep on me, so I hate all therapists. I'm like, it's the
Yeah,
same thing with
yeah.
dating. You had one bad experience. Like I had to go through a gang of therapists
Yeah.
before I found mine.
Yeah.
And I think for me,
Ooh, let's stay.
That's difficult.
it is. It's the kissing the frogs until you find a prince.
sure.
Same
It's
mentality.
really hard
You gotta
to.
do all of
It's
that.
really hard to stay hopeful during that process.
I
It
think
is, but it's also recognizing, and I think especially a person like me is like, what else? What else are you gonna do? Everybody that
I have
cares
to,
about
yeah.
you doesn't have. It's the same. Like I'm in entertainment. I want a manager. Let's say. There's people who have the know-how and the resources and the relationships.
Yeah.
And there's the people that love you like family.
Yeah.
And you can close your eyes with all your money available to them, and you know you can trust them.
Yeah.
The perfect manager is that. I got a lot of people I love and trust. I know a lot of people that are connected, but I don't have that relation. Both of them. It's that same thing when it comes to therapy. When it comes to all that, you have to keep going through this journey
To
until-
find that.
Yeah, and it's your person that's gonna fit with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my friends, and I have friends now, like from the neighborhood I grew up in. Soup never got out of high school situation. Well, you need a therapist for it. Just call me. And I'll be like, yo,
It's a little
no.
different.
Yeah, I was like,
understand.
no. But again, I love you and trust you.
Sure.
But if my car doesn't work, you can't help me fix it.
maybe if you were a hot chick,
I'll let you
then I go to
slide.
you.
No, D. Maybe you would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe if you wasn't so ugly. Yeah, it could be all of that. But it's like,
Yeah.
you're not equipped. I love and trust you, but you're not equipped to do it.
I think.
And then I think I found somebody now who they're a PhD, but they're also super empathetic. They get me as an artist. They get me as a weirdo. We argue endlessly, and she wins every argument.
I love the fact that you're talking about therapy because honestly, on this podcast, I'm very vocal about me. Like when I started therapy, I actually just reached my year consistently. I've been going to therapy every single week for a year, actually maybe today even. But for me, it was important. So I get it. I always say you have to date. It's like dating. It's almost like Tinder, swiping right, left. Like, oh, I like this person, I don't. But my therapist, I specifically wanted a black therapist, right? So they could somewhat understand me and relate on certain social experiences. And also I wanted a woman because I wanted that empathy. I wanted her to be able to understand me. And, the closest people in my life has always been women. My mom, my aunts, my grandmother, my sister who's in studio with us today, like they nurture me in a way that men just haven't. You know what I'm saying? So if I was going to open up, if I'm going to tell you every crevice and part of me, I needed to feel comfortable, and a black woman was exactly what I needed. And thankfully, it was a match for me.
That's beautiful.
So I understand exactly what it is you mean by, hey, let's have the roulette of therapists until I find the right one.
And I was so happy for Savon because Savon didn't find Solstice on the internet. Let me explain. I don't have a lot of beefs in my life. Currently, I don't have any ops, humble. I'm out the way. I just go to work.
Congratulations. It's been a year for him, too. 1 year today.
You have no ops?
More ops. Yeah, you got rid of all the ops
I've been op-free for 1 year.
I've been op-free.
I've been avoiding all mirrors.
All mirrors. But I got this one op. Humble, I got this one op, and he don't leave, right?
Oh, shit.
And I think a lot of people have found therapy within it.
Yeah.
And that thing is memes. I think, my people think I'm crazy. Every time I bring up this little thing about memes, they're like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out, blase, blase. And to me, I just see it as I've seen memes weaponize people for bad behavior, right? They will see a meme that they relate to, and it's okay to relate to things. I'm glad that people relate to the Need to Know podcast, right? Super dope. I'm glad there is something that moves you, invokes emotion in you, and makes you feel something. That's beautiful. My issue with memes is, you get caught up into a certain algorithm that makes you feel like you're constantly right. So do you feel like memes, and I'm not saying people are doing this purposely, do you feel like memes subconsciously affect us on a day-to-day basis? I'm asking everybody this because I don't know if it's just me coming to this realization. I don't know.
I mean, you can't argue their impact. You can't argue the impact of a meme, like that style of communication, how organically it came.
Right.
For anybody who wants healthy memes, if that's a word.
No, I think they got those.
On Instagram, her name is Bunny Michaels. Michaels. She's a New Yorker. I think she just left the city. But Bunny Michaels, she will give you one really good quote.
That sounds like a good
and
meme.
then she'll take the same meme. Like it'll be a carousel, every post, the same meme 5 times. She just changes the text. It's all hilarious, but it's all self-aware. It's all about growth, self-acceptance, going easy on yourself, reminding you that half the ideas that you're being hard on yourself are just bullshit made up ideas. So it's funny when you brought up that idea. She's effectively using memes. I love that. And I look at that, I was like, how do you come up with these memes all the time? And it'll just be like, like someone pressing the delete button, but it'll be labeled, like the finger will be labeled higher self.
Got it.
Oh, healthy memes.
So like deleting the idea that I have to be productive 8 hours a day.
That's fire.
Deleting the idea that I need to live up to some standard of beauty.
That's
deleting, like that. So it's just straight memes of that level of like an image and text, but she's using it for good, and I think it's a really important thing because you see them used in politics, you see them using all of that,
And I think subconsciously people don't really realize the effect it has on you because you're on this app, TikTok, whatever, Twitter, and you're just seeing different variations of what you seem to be right, and no one else is checking you, like when you go to see a therapist. And you know what I'm saying? I think that's my real
It's the echo chambers. Yeah, and social media is designed to keep you on. Social media doesn't have any other agenda but to just keep you scrolling. So they're going to show you what you actually want, and all of it, and that's appealing to our inner child. That's like giving a kid endless McDonald's, right? Yeah. So from that standpoint, it's like the therapist is somebody who is qualified, and they also don't have an emotional stake.
Yeah.
Like if I'm
I
having
hate that
relationship
sometimes. I ain't
problems, the
gonna lie.
homies, yeah.
Sometimes I want you to feel my heartbreak. Like I was going
I think
through
they
it.
have it. So there's levels, and I talk about it in the book. It's called attunement. So we always talk about having empathy.
Yes. Yeah.
Empathy is walking in your shoes. Attunement is effectively communicating to you that I am in your skin. I know exactly what you're feeling like. And attunement has been used by effective therapists. And attunement is what, if we want to step up our game past empathy, we should learn attunement as a skill. And that's like, okay, your child is scared. Step one, get down to your knees, eye level.
You see that?
Okay, be there with them, and then be able to focus on successfully communicating to them that you actually know what they're feeling. Empathy is like, I'm sorry you're going through that. That must suck.
I understand what you're going through.
Yeah, but you don't say how.
Yeah.
You don't say anything. Attunement is, and a therapist, an effective therapist would do attunement. And some people don't like that because like, oh, they're just validating my shit. They're letting you know you're not alone. Because most of the reasons we have issues is we think our problems are unique to us. You know, and a therapist, in my opinion, a therapist's real job is just to get you out of black and white thinking. It's never just this or that.
Yeah.
There's a million options in between.
Yeah.
Why you think it's got to be this? Why you think it's got to be that? And they challenge you to get out of that. And I think that's the important part, as well as hopefully, and again, I can't speak for all therapists, they're not subconsciously recruiting you to whatever they believe.
Yes.
You know,
makes
if
sense.
you're married
Which
and
is
you're
a really
single
great
and I'm
point.
going
Yeah,
through shit,
exactly.
you're gonna subconsciously be like, join my team. Be
Yeah,
single.
that's what I'm
You can be like,
saying.
let's make
I've
it
done
work.
that.
Yeah.
Everyone's a recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. You not with her no more?
Yeah.
She was terrible for you. Pull up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Wow.
you're a recruiter, and I think and so with a therapist, you don't. If they're an effective therapist, aka an expensive therapist, maybe
Yes.
not. Then you know,
Very.
and as I said, like it does, and this is something that I think after these books, I want to try to commit myself to. It's like accessible therapy for everybody, and creating that situation because it's like
Is that accessible in Toronto? I'm not familiar with the
No.
laws. I know
UK it
health
is.
insurance. UK.
UK is built in.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
UK
I
is built
wasn't
in, and
familiar.
apparently, from what I understand, is like if you call to inquire once, then they hound you.
Gotcha.
really?
Oh, you looked into therapy? Come on.
It's like when I give a
Really?
website my email,
Yeah.
and I just get fucking
Yeah.
spammed with, "Hey, you
Yeah.
just visited."
So
this
the government does that over there. It's covered by the government. Canada has great healthcare.
Yes. I
But Canada's healthcare is like healthcare.
Physical.
Yeah, like we don't
Got
have
it.
we don't have dental either. We just have healthcare. Like
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not
But if I get hit by a car, I don't gotta pay. If
Okay.
I get sick, I don't gotta pay.
For us, the
Understood.
ambulance is $1,000.
But if you have a mental breakdown, you better figure that shit out.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
No, no.
Got
It's
for
crazy
real,
how
for
they
real.
put conditions
or
on our
they'll
health.
put you in the hospital. They'll put you in the psych hospital for free.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. So
Yeah.
you got it.
See that?
It's extreme.
Yeah,
They'll do that.
yeah, you
it
could be
ain't a
crazy
perfect. It
for
ain't a
free.
perfect system.
Yeah,
Okay.
nah, you could be crazy for free.
Yeah, yeah. Like you have an issue. Like
Yeah.
they'll come. Hopefully they don't send the police and they send medical professionals.
Okay.
And then you'll have a bed and food to eat.
All right.
Without a bill, but like the UK, Europe has a stronger social system, and
Okay.
they include. And I know specifically the UK includes mental health professionals. Again, I don't know if they're rock stars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because if it's government provided, but then I
knows?
do know if you inquire once, they come at
That's
you.
very
They want to get you to
interesting.
do it. Yeah.
I like that.
So I'm an only child, right?
Okay.
I've never looked at loneliness as a bad thing.
Yeah.
I've realized as I've gotten older and I meet more and more people that come from bigger families or maybe just a little bit more dependent on other people because, that's just how they had to come up. I'm realizing for them, loneliness triggers a lot. And we kind of spoke about that briefly already. What are some cures for that? Because, on this podcast, I like dispelling things. I like kind of giving things that people can replace the bullshit that they've been doing with.
Yeah.
And when I say shit, because I'm not a doctor or I'm not a love guru. Hey, Humble ain't a love
I
guru
ain't
either.
one either.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I put words together.
We put
That's what
words
I
together,
do.
yeah.
That's all I do. I put
And
words together.
most importantly though, we like to reflect to
Y'all
kind
both rap too.
Yo, I don't rap. I rapped against Wyclef one time. Now you think I rap?
I rapped against Wyclef.
I did.
I did too.
Wait, no way. No way.
My shit not
This
special
is
no
like
more?
in September. I went to an event in Ohio, and he was performing there. Lewis Howes had an event. I went. He's performing there. I'm backstage on some like,
Yeah.
I love you, Wyclef. Like I want to talk to you. Like
Yeah.
Gunpowder changed my
For
life.
sure.
I went to dap him, and the rule is don't tell nobody you're a big fan.
You can't.
Yes,
They don't want to
that is
hear
a rule,
it.
for
But
sure.
I
Don't
was
wanna
still
hear it.
on there. I had some
Yeah.
tequilas. I was already on. I'm a big fan.
Nice.
I dapped him, and I was like, "Yo, I'm a big fan." He goes, "You spit?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
Wait.
Yeah, so y'all not the, you're not the only one, Alex.
I got footage of it. It's 8 minutes.
He does too.
I got footage of it too.
Yeah.
You want to know what it is?
Whose is better?
He only rap niggas with beards.
Yeah, because he walked right by me. Yeah, he looked at me like, hey, how you doing, man?
But he battle rap.
No, he battle raps. Like we were in a label. We were at a label, some office.
label party,
Yeah,
office,
label
yeah.
party. Office. He dropped his chicken wing from across the street, Reggie. Yeah, from across the cubicles. Yeah. You rap. All I could hear in my head is somebody please call 911.
He doesn't rap in real life.
No, this shit is fucking my
Wyclef
head up.
doesn't rap. Wyclef is not a rappity rap artist.
No, he's
I
not.
think of Wyclef rapping. I
telling
think
you.
Timbaland. Like
Me too.
they'll drop a verse on their own song.
Yes, yes.
and it's cool.
And it's cool. Like
That's
literally.
it. It's cool. We don't measure. They made the music. We don't.
sure.
We're not
Yeah.
comparing them to Nas.
Absolutely.
But when he raps,
But when he raps, I was sitting there like, hold on.
raps.
He was. I kind of.
he needs a deal.
Raps.
He's rapping like he needs a deal. Holy shit!
Kind of edged him out.
jealous.
He went back for his chicken wings when I was done with
Oh,
him.
I did not. I did not edge him out.
You don't know.
I did not edge
You
him
edge
out.
him out?
He
I
started
was on three
re-
tequila. Listen, I was on 3 tequila. I was there for fun.
Word.
This guy was crowd surfing. I was just. I didn't even want a picture. I just wanted to dap the man.
Yeah.
No, literally like a
And
legend.
I don't
And
even
now
know who
look.
told him I rap. It was the strangest occurrence. But
I
yeah.
think he gets a sense for who is musically gifted.
Yeah, he
And
must.
who's gonna be with the
Well,
shits?
why is it combative?
I have
and when
no
did Wyclef begin this?
because hip hop is competitive. The
But
nature of
Wyclef,
hip hop.
who's talking about Wyclef ain't showing up at URL?
Word.
But you never
Why he just
know.
showing up
saying,
to
like,
dudes just rapping to him?
There's a lot of dudes you can do this. When did this happen?
He's a
I don't
guitarist, a politician, a vocalist, and a
As
battle
he
rapper.
said that day, he said, I'm Kanye before Kanye.
You see that?
Oh, that's
Which I
spice.
think is true.
That's
Yeah,
spicy.
yeah.
Ooh.
But again,
What
like,
era
I
of
don't
Kanye?
expect Kanye to battle. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's like
right.
it was a strange occurrence, and I'm glad we both had that strange
Damn.
Look
occurrence.
at us. Look at us.
Savon,
Why-
we have to complete this side mission too.
Have you guys ever heard of like the Bill Murray occurrences?
I have not.
No,
No,
what's that?
So Bill Murray, the actor.
Yeah, I
so this
know-
is all like pre-social media.
Right.
Okay.
Bill Murray would just show up in the most random places,
Okay.
in the most like random cities, doing the most random things.
like Andre 3000?
That's my goal in life.
Well, Andre 3000 is living life in the random places, doing random things.
Okay.
Bill Murray will like be at a local baseball game ripping tickets.
That's my goal in life.
Wait.
That sounds mad fun.
And then he'll like people like, you're Bill Murray, and they're like, can I have a picture? Like, no.
No.
And then he'll be like,
I'm working.
Then he'll be like, and no one will believe you.
That's why I got.
Like it's just these random, like, and that's what I feel Wyclef is doing. Andre's
gotta
got
be.
the like, yeah. Like, I had a friend see Andre against a dumpster playing the flute.
Oh wow.
in a strip mall in L.A.
And he lets you get a picture.
He does.
He lets you get a picture, but and I think I also learned with him like don't tell him he's the greatest rapper in the
Of
world.
all
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
He
yeah,
just
yeah,
wants to
just-
feel regular. He wants to be just a regular
But I feel like
person.
this Wyclef thing is just
Yeah.
extremely.
Get out of here.
I
The
never
energy
would've
was
thought.
combative, and I just didn't know where it
Get
came
out of here.
from.
We 2 for 2. Who would have thought?
I didn't expect it.
Me either. I'm trying
And
to
the
tell you.
bars were there.
I was eating chicken.
He
Yeah.
recycles his bars though. He definitely
Don't snitch
recycles.
on him.
He definitely
Don't snitch
recycled
on
my
him.
fault.
It's
my
okay.
fault.
Don't snitch on
It's
him.
okay.
Let's snitch on
It's
him.
okay.
He was getting his shit off.
He
But
was.
that's awesome.
We gotta find Lauryn Hill, Reggie.
You
I'm down for that.
We got a background sing for
Jersey
Lauryn.
legend.
ain't gonna
Yes.
find her.
My dog.
You ain't gonna find
My puppy is named. My puppy's name is Boogie after her.
Really?
dope.
Oh, wow,
Super
that's
dope.
dope.
I love Lauryn Hill. Like, that's my number one.
Damn. So your
Who
puppy,
would've thought?
your puppy's still lonely because you're not with him right now. So we gotta get back to loneliness.
No,
right?
it's with her. Yeah. Let me. So what I was
That
gonna
was-
say is
me.
that's a good segue.
It's me. It's me.
I think the first thing you have to do is
Yeah.
it's not loneliness. First it's being alone.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
being by yourself. Right. Let's start with that.
I never looked at it as a bad thing.
because
Me
there's two ways to
too.
look at it. It's solitude, which is the reward of being by yourself, and then there's loneliness, which is the punishment of being by yourself.
Oh,
right?
there he goes again.
So I think the first and the first thing I also want to do is I want to define alone.
okay.
Because a lot of motherfuckers think sitting in their room looking at their phone counts as being alone.
That's me.
That's not alone.
Because I
These
take
motherfuckers.
That's not alone.
yes,
That's
because
motherfuckers.
yeah, because just last
But you're
week,
not alone.
we were having
Yeah,
a
she's not.
conversation about FOMO and how I don't really get FOMO because I love just sitting in my house and I'm a very
But you're still
very
getting
introverted.
You're getting reward systems.
Yes, because I like that. So what is
That's the same thing, though.
Okay.
The whole point, everyone's just trying to get dopamine and rewards and happiness, right?
Okay.
You're just getting it from the phone. Being alone is.
Oh no, not the phone, but just sitting in my room alone, not doing anything.
Are
that
you
gives
are
me
you
dopamine.
actually not doing anything?
I'll literally lay there. I swear.
Word.
I
Okay,
love.
So
I love
that's
doing
proper
That.
alone.
Okay.
Oh, ooh, I'm a prop.
Because people like people say like my social battery. I'm not. So my social battery is
Yes,
drained.
yes,
then they go to
yeah.
their room and
And
look at
be
their
on
phone.
their phone.
Yeah, that's
not-
me.
Yeah, but that's
You a liar.
that's not introvert. That's just
Wait, I'm not an introvert.
You're still
because of that?
interacting with people.
no. That's
God.
creating. You're just getting your reward systems through an easier method.
Tell him, humble.
Ooh, not physical, but like just,
Like what?
looking.
It's like you're leaving a slow cooked restaurant to go to a fast food joint. That's all it is.
If anything, when I'm alone, laying in bed, even last night, like I was scrolling through Instagram for way too long. I didn't like the feeling of like achieving like like interactions with people through the phone. Like I wanted to just do nothing. Like I just wanted to just sit there.
Doing
in
nothing
aloneness.
is alone. So that's the first step. And then people who enjoy that is called solitude. People
Y'all like
who
that shit?
don't like that is loneliness.
Y'all like
Listen
that?
to humble. Please.
Yes.
Nah, that's
Yes, I do.
you enjoy that
Yes,
part
I
of
do.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Because in that time, Savon, and humble, don't forget what you're saying. In that time, I'm able to kind of just look at myself
And be with
finally.
myself, like-
and you know, when you're around people, it's really hard to just look at yourself. It's hard. You're entertaining. You're maybe people pleasing.
Yeah. Well, you're spending, and that's what it is. People that struggle with it struggle with their own company.
Right.
But I do like me.
Nah,
I
not that
really
much.
like me a lot.
I do
but
like me.
It's
It's
not
just
about,
looking like you hate yourself.
liking
I don't
yourself.
know.
It's just it's being in your own company, but also the lack. People get anxiety
Yeah.
being alone also because the rewards aren't coming.
Yeah, I don't
So
like that.
anxiety also comes from dopamine
that
withdrawal.
stems from something.
We're all dopamine fiends. We're
Yeah.
all dopamine fiends.
That's a fact.
We're endlessly getting dopamine from TV, our phones, anything. We're just getting endlessly chasing dopamine from one thing to the other thing.
Like thirst traps.
Yeah,
When you post a thirst trap and you get all them likes,
that's
That
still
next
dopamine.
one got a hit too.
Yeah,
Dopamine.
and again, all of this dopamine is what we are trading for actual love.
damn.
We choose that over
Fuck
love.
me up. Wait,
Yeah.
hold up. I gotta delete my IG real quick. Cause
For real,
I
though,
got something
for
in the
real.
tuck right now. I was ready to drop. My birthday's approaching. You know, I got.
But that's the thing. But even,
for the
but
weekend.
again, and
Big cap.
because it also encourages this curated life.
Right.
You know, I remember being in school, and this is like pre-phones.
Yeah.
And I remember a teacher saying, "Photographs are manufactured moments." And I was like, "They're like photographs, like click, like not phone camera shit." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "Look at every photograph. Everyone's posing, doing. That wasn't an event. That wasn't an occurrence at that birthday party."
Right.
Okay.
What about
Candids,
yeah.
How often are candids happening back then? Everyone, let's pose for a photo.
Yeah.
You only have one
Yeah,
opportunity to take that
Yeah.
like
So
picture.
now we're all gonna put smiles on our face. We're gonna manufacture a moment. And he was saying that to me back then, and that always stuck in my head. And then in social media generation, you start to realize how curated things become. You start to realize that like how y'all probably go to events and then they got photo walls for social media.
Right.
They got different things for all of that.
Oh, I love a photo wall. I'm just being honest.
No,
I'm
but that's how
sorry.
they get you in because you're gonna, they know you have this need, and then in your head you see the wall, you start writing your caption,
Oh,
and then you
yes.
have expectations over it. The dopamine that's gonna come from people, liking it or not liking it, or what their comments are gonna be.
I don't
and
deny
all
any
that.
of this.
Yes, the problem with that is it's endless.
I know. Yeah.
That's the only problem with it. It's endless.
I think some people when they get into relationships, initially it is love. And it does feel like love. And a lot of the times, maybe both parties or one party can grow out of it. My question to you is, I brought this up earlier. We joked about, man, we don't know when to break up. We don't know when to leave. And but when do you think it is right to break up? When do you feel like, all right, I've put my all into this. This doesn't feel like love anymore, and I could step away from this without, feeling like I'm doing something wrong?
When she cheats.
Aside from that, Savon.
Oh, okay.
So there's a list in the book. If I could, I won't know it off the top of my head.
That's
but
fine.
I made a list. It's called the chapter's called "When to." So I don't view it as like you find love in somebody. You create a pathway of love with them. So instead of saying "I love you," you say "You show me what love is," because
Well,
the
I'ma
love is
use that.
always there.
I'm gonna text my man that tonight.
And then instead of saying "I hate you," you say "You show me what fear is."
Oh,
You
okay.
show me
what
what
fear
fear
is.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, you ill. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put you in my pocket. You know what? I'm gonna get a little recorder for you. Leave up out of here today.
I mean, I'm in front of the mic.
Yeah, no, but I'm gonna need it on demand. Some text situations might occur, some in-person, run-ins, and I might need to just play a little excerpt from you.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Alex impressed.
That's not true.
I've never seen you impressed. This is the first time in our
That is not
friendship
true.
that I've ever seen you
All right,
impressed.
here's a this chapter is one of the last chapters in the book, and it's called "When to Close the Pathways of Love."
Yeah.
So when to end a relationship.
How to break up with someone.
That's the next chapter,
Oh wait, what?
and that's actually. So I wrote so much for this book that they said, "Listen, your book's too long. We have to make it more expensive." So at 2 chapters, I turned into QR codes.
Oh wow.
That's I've never heard of that
like
before.
that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and oneism is how to break up. So I'm like, not every single human reading this book needs to break up today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll put that as a QR code. They can scan it if they need it. I
And
think
put
the
it in my
other one was-
bookmarks. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can put in bookmark. Yeah, and then you get the PDF of it.
Fire.
Okay, here's the list of. That's a big list. All right, when to close pathways of love. We keep making these. Oops, these are excuses. Okay, yeah, we keep making. We keep making excuses and hoping things will improve in hypothetical future. Once we live together, get engaged, finish school, things will get better. You feel the need to tone down yourself to protect others. You feel too afraid to ask the other person to take on and accept your reality. You feel pressure to change and not be your authentic self. You only feel their love and support when you're in a good place. You feel pressure to maintain emotional stability because when shit hits the fan, they can't be there for you. This makes you feel guilt, shame, and anxiety for being a human with highs and lows. They rarely are willing to dive into your world or meet your friends and family, and they already have you anxious about even asking them to do so. You feel negativity and anxiety around them. You often feel like you're walking on eggshells. Everyone has their own definition of often, and I understand everyone is human and will do and say the wrong things to make us feel shitty every now and then. But even with that, the people that care about us will show remorse, and this will be heavily outweighed by positive experiences.
I see why men don't break up, man.
You were made to feel that what you need doesn't deserve to be shared and isn't warranted. You feel needy and unreasonable anytime you want to share. In a romantic relationship, this is all relationships, we're not even now being specifically romantic. In romantic relationships, you don't feel secure when you're not together. This is less about trusting them and more about your attachment style and how they help you manage that. You are made to feel hidden in their life. You don't feel safe to be yourself around them. The connection is wearing away slowly with resentments that are adding up. These resentments can be anything from substance abuse to financial issues to them having other relationships that make you feel less wonderful about yourself. Misalignments about what really matters. You can be sleeping in the same bed but dreaming different dreams. This can cause a tug of war where everyone loses. You're surprised when people compliment how nice and considerate they are. You're not certain they'll be there for you if shit hits the fan in a real emergency. You don't feel like your emotional or physical wellness is a priority to them.
This sounds like heartbreak. It sounds like you really went through it. No, seriously, it sounds like you did the work. Attachment styles. That's something that I was really big on last year. I was introduced to that term, to that phrase through therapy. Right. So before, I had no idea what
Secure
an
attachment
style
game.
was. I had no idea what it was. Insecure, secure, and then I believe there's one more anxious attachment. I had no idea. So the fact that you're implementing this, I can see why therapy is such a high priority for you in dating, because there's no way you could be this evolved
Or explain
and-
every time.
Yeah, it's just no way. You kind of gotta come packaged.
I
I
told you, man, in front of the class. Like I wrote
Yeah.
twice the amount of this book.
Are you
Wow.
serious?
Awesome.
I hate editing all my shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Reggie, she's a writer
That's
herself.
the worst part because I just want to ramble.
it's-
But I just want to say,
yeah.
like, I have the digital copy, but I'm gonna purchase a hard copy, and then one
appreciate
day
it.
when I have
Same.
kids, I'm gonna sit and read this as a bedtime story to them because the way you were reading, it was just like such important things you need in your life. I'm just being like, so when it's no longer serving
four
you,
more.
Yes.
And I just want to finish.
Let's do it.
these.
Please, please.
They care about impressing strangers more than you.
Damn.
You're most likely the person they target to put down.
what?
Damn.
You feel like you can't be the partner they deserve. And finally, you're bored.
See,
Shit.
I've dealt with people and had that uneasiness
Yeah.
of like, yo, I don't feel comfortable doing this with this person, or yo, she might, and I don't know if she gonna, and I wasn't realizing, I was thinking that was all because of me and not how that person made me feel. I just really thought like, yo, this is probably something I have to get past.
Which is
because-
still you.
right,
How
sure,
they made
It
you
could
feel.
be.
sure, okay, how
And
they-
it is you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've also come across people that feel like, let's say I'm going through some shit that I haven't really fully mapped out in my head yet. They say like, yo, I could do it with you though. I could do it with you. And for me personally, maybe I don't know, it's because I'm an only child, anything like for me, and that just never felt natural. And they kind of made me feel like I was wrong for that. Like, yo, like we all adults, we could be doing it together. When it just didn't feel right for me. So
Yeah, but that's you're avoidant.
And you want to know what's funny, and I know, unfortunately, we do got to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
One of the things, like what Alex is talking about, it took me a while to adjust to that because he's an only child. He's used to doing things independent on his own.
But
I
he's
come
not.
from a large family.
That's the thing. We're looking at it from one level. You are not. You are not independent. There's no such thing as independence. There's no such thing as self-made. Okay? You live in a community
that made me that way.
But simple things. Let's say you start a business and you make it like I'm self-made. No, you don't live in Ukraine where that building that you were setting up got bombed.
Yeah.
We are a product of everybody's labor who came before us
sure.
and the labor of the community around us. We are interdependent. You don't need to heavily lean on people, but you require the subway to work for you to get around, or you require the roads to be paved. We all need each other, and we have to abandon this idea that we're doing it alone. We are, so it's like, for example, if you have a child and it's your child, and you put the child down and walk away, the child's gonna lose his mind. Yeah. You put the child down and stay, the child sees that you stayed, now it goes and becomes more independent. It takes risks, plays with everybody, does whatever. It just needs to know you're there.
I love that.
It's not a weakness to need each other.
Yeah.
But a lot of us men were taught that.
A lot of people are very proud about being like extremely independent.
But they're not.
Yeah,
They're
but
lying.
as
That's
you
the thing.
said-
You got to call I thought that too. You know, and it's like, oh, everything's getting in my way. And then I realized, okay, again, I'm protecting myself from short-term pain, and all these walls I'm building, it's just a prison.
Yeah.
It's keeping everything out.
I could sit here and talk to you for hours.
Yeah, I still have questions I didn't get to.
could sit here and talk to you for hours. I do hope that there is an audio version with you reading it.
There's
because
an audio version with me crying in it.
I would love
The way the
love to
book
hear
is
it.
structured is there's love stories.
Gotcha.
So there's
Oh yeah,
three
with the dark
sections.
pages.
Yeah, the dark pages. So there's 3 sections. What the fuck is love? Love for self, love for others. And I bookmarked that with love stories.
Amazing.
Awesome.
And then some of those love stories are about me. And then some of those love stories about other people that I know. And they're all unconventional love stories. They're not,
Amazing.
you know, they're not Bobby Whitney, Ross and Rachel type love stories.
Can we walk into Barnes and Nobles, Amazon,
Everywhere books are available.
Big
I'm in
flicks.
Barnes and Noble.
How to Be
Amazon.
Loved, right?
How to Be Loved. I'm on Audible. It's doing it's the audio. Yeah, the audio was an experience. I had to read the book almost backwards to
Really?
avoid all the emotional stuff.
Got it. I can't wait to check it out. I can't wait.
Appreciate
Honestly,
it. Yeah.
I love the fact that it's a hardcover book as well.
Yeah.
Because I like the hardcovers, the flabby ones. They not as durable. You know what I'm saying? Like, so thank you. We appreciate you pulling up, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Much love and success to you. Like, thank you for also coming back. A lot of people, especially with your success and the people that you can reach, you know, you can forget about, hey, you know what? The podcast that wasn't as established as some of the others, like you're on Brilliant Idiots, the Breakfast Club. I remember, let me just admit this real quick before we let you go.
Come on, Truth.
I remember the last time that we did the podcast with you and you was on our show, you had done the Breakfast Club within that same week.
Yeah, word.
And I had remember watching you on the Breakfast Club. I'm a huge fan, Charlamagne, Angela Yee. Like that whole infrastructure and broadcasting is just something that I always looked up to, right? And at that time, they was on fire and they was introducing me to so many different people.
Yeah.
And you were one of those people that they introduced me to. And then I just started seeing you everywhere. I'm like, yo, this guy is awesome. Alex and myself, we were still in the beginning phases of figuring this out. What the podcast is, how to get it out. You know, I was almost a little bit, that anxiety that we talked about, I was a little bit hesitant to almost, you know, reach out to you. Our team, we had these conversations, but I was such a big fan of how you carried yourself, your messaging, and it was a true honor and an accomplishment for me. It was a benchmark for me to have you on the podcast at that
Real
time
stuff. Real stuff.
because
I appreciate
seeing
that.
you
Real
in
shit,
those rooms, on those lights, and having you in our space, it meant the world to me at that time.
Listen, I'll tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I'm being completely honest. I selfishly am chasing community. At this,
Love
you
that.
know,
Same.
I'm not again like I go to the Breakfast Club studios every time I'm in New York. I'm not on the show. I'm just there.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
I try to check. You know, Andrew Schultz every time I'm in. Like for me, it's community. You know, now that I'll be here, I'm gonna check you guys regularly.
Thank you, brother.
whether, and I'm not even on the show. It's not
sure.
about that for me. It's about community.
Yeah.
Because I learned very quickly whenever shit hit the fan in my life, it's your people's that have you. It's not. Ooh, what can so and so do? That don't matter. And it's also the reminder that like Jay-Z, Busta, and Biggie like went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Like every we grow we grow together.
Yeah.
Look horizontally, not who's up there and what they can do.
That's
to
what
help,
I've been
for
learning.
sure.
Trapping
Yeah.
horizontally and not so.
Exactly. And as I said, like for me, it's like
Yeah.
getting these opportunities to hang out with those dudes. It's hanging out with them.
Yeah,
It's not that. And it's like, yeah, and even check out some of those. I think even when you see those interviews when they happen, you'll see that.
Yes, for
There's
sure.
There's
Absolutely.
a lot more
Everyone's
picking
growing,
on me
yeah.
happening now.
Yeah.
There's a lot less formal. I don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot more teasing and poking
sure.
happening, and I
Yeah.
think I'm in a room with friends,
Yeah.
and that's what I want.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You know,
well,
and
we
then-
can't wait to get you back over here, man.
Thank you for
and-
dispelling and teaching us.
Facts.
today. Thank you.
Building that community, building that friendship. And again, much success to everything that
Thank
you're
you,
doing.
thank
I
you,
think it's an
thank you,
amazing message.
Yeah.
The book is beautiful. It looks
you,
great.
thank you,
You
thank you.
sound great. You look amazing
Thank you.
too.
Yes, sir.
You haven't aged a bit since we last
At
seen
all,
you.
at all.
Like you look
Pandemic
exactly
enough.
the
This
same.
charming guy.
I literally, I gotta get a beer, man. Like I can't do this
Then
shit.
you could battle Wycliffe.
Maybe. It has been a pleasure. It is what you need to know when you need to know on the Need to Know podcast. Again, please make sure you purchase Humble the Poet's newest, latest book, How to Be Loved. It is an awesome read. We will also include the link in the bio of this episode.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out. It is what you need to know when you need to know on the Need to Know podcast. God willing, we will be back again next week. Peace out, y'all.
Gang.